And welcome to Nerds to Men. I am Brad Reed.
Should I start with 10 next time?
Well, it was one of those things where I was trying to get my mouse to start. Anyway, let's not bore the people.
Anyways, yeah, it's your boy Cameo.
Yeah, who are you? Who are you again?
I am Cameo.
Yes, and let's go ahead and just tell everybody, Cameo, where can they find you throughout the week if they want to hear that sweet voice of yours?
If you want to hear my voice every weekday, you can on Wild 104.9. I'm on the middays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So if you want to listen to some of your favorite top 40 / hip hop music, Wild 104.9 is it. You can get us on the radio, like I said. Also, wild1049hd.com on your Alexa, on a free app. So go to the App Store, download the Wild 104.9 app. Yes. So
if you keep going, I'm going to have to charge you for
I know, right?
No, cool. So let me ask you this. What's your favorite song on Wild right now?
Oh, man.
As we're recording this, it is on Mother's Day, and I heard a song yesterday that I think you introduced. I think you were on the air yesterday, and the song was about this. It was all the things that this guy was going to do for this girl, but it wasn't like weird, sleazy things. It was, like nice things.
I wonder what song that was.
Like making her dinner and cleaning the house. It was.
I can't remember what song that is.
It definitely wasn't an R. Kelly song.
No, because he doesn't like women. He likes little girls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Sorry to go dark there.
Yeah. Well, we will talk about Justice League Dark here in a little while.
Yep.
So.
But yeah, I can't remember that song now. That's usually how it is when you try to explain something to somebody that they, introduced or, they told you about. It's like, I don't know what you're talking about now.
Yeah. Well, it's, or like if somebody's like, hey, Cameo's a funny guy. Cameo, tell me a joke. And you're like,
knock, knock.
Yeah. I wouldn't say you were a funny guy anyway, but.
You're right. I am hilarious.
Oh, speaking of hilarious, did you watch Middleditch and Shorts on Netflix?
No, I keep forgetting to watch it.
That's my recommendation to everyone right now. Is it's got I can't remember who's who now off the top of my head, but it's got the guy from Silicon Valley.
The main character, or
yes, the one who's like the leader of Pied Piper.
Yeah. I can't remember his name either.
And it's got, is it John Raphael? What was his name on Parks and Recs? He was like, yeah.
Man, I know who you're talking about.
He was like the
skinny
party guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
what is it called again?
Middleditch and Shorts. It's like their last names. But it's improv. The whole thing is improv. They start off with, they'll talk to somebody in the audience and just get, some keywords and stuff like that.
Ben Schwartz is the guy from Parks and Rec.
Yeah. Was it
Thomas?
Jean Raphael or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thomas Middleditch and Ben Schwartz.
Yeah. Ben Schwartz. Yeah. He was in that movie, the animated movie you were talking about.
Sonic?
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
That's right. He's hilarious. They're both. And what's funny is the guy from the HBO show, he ended up being a lot funnier than I even thought he would be. Because his character on Silicon Valley is like really buttoned up. Mm-hmm. And he still has that, kind of comes across like that a little bit.
Yeah.
When you hear him talking in real life outside of that show. But once you see the improv, you're like, oh man, this guy is super funny all on his own. It wasn't just a written character.
Right. I saw he was in a movie with Keanu Reeves called Replicas.
Mm-hmm.
That movie was horrible, by the way.
I don't think I saw Replicas. When did that come out? A long time ago?
I think it was last year.
Oh. Ooh.
Yeah, 2019. And
with who?
It's
Keanu Reeves?
Yeah, Keanu Reeves. He's a scientist.
Yeah.
The the synopsis is that Keanu Reeves is a scientist, and basically he's trying to transfer consciousness into robots.
Mm-hmm.
And so instead of doing that, him and his family were going on a vacation. They end up dying, his wife and his 3 kids. Well,
I think I do remember something about this now.
Yeah, he clones them, and then he puts their consciousness in their bodies, and then it's like a whole big story. The people that he's actually working for in the very beginning of the movie is not who they turn out to be. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's crazy, but it wasn't good.
So replicas.
It was only $5. I got it at Walmart, and I was like, I kind of wanted to see it, to see what it was about.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a $5 wasted, but now I know.
Would you have given it like 1 Jared Leto Joker?
Yeah. It was entertaining, but yeah, I'd give it a 1 Jared Leto.
Right on.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Oh, we have a guest to the show.
Oh.
Coming in hot.
Is that the wifey?
Yeah.
Hello, Jen.
She's just like in her PJs, so I'm not sure. She's just trying to toss this over.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. I got the
Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda. I thought it might glow in the dark. It's like a weird shade of green, but it doesn't. It doesn't really glow in the dark. But yeah, I got that.
Nice. I see you have me on your desk as well.
Do I?
Yeah, a little sweet.
Oh yeah. Give us a little sweet sliding up the banister.
No, I'm good.
Come on.
It's the sweet one.
All right, that's good. That's a good one. All right, let's get into. Hey, did you see these? This was a cool gift that I got from. It's like the Westworld Dorbs or
Dolores and Arnold.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or Bernard, whatever.
Bernarnold.
Bernardold.
He was both. So should we talk about that real quick?
Yeah. Let's go over that.
So Westworld ended last Sunday. We usually give everybody about a week so that we can talk about it and spoiler it. But we should say spoiler alert.
Yep.
But
spoilers.
Yeah. So we come to the end of Westworld's season 3. It wasn't the series finale. But we'll get to the end in a little bit, but the way it ended, I thought it could have just been the series finale, and I would have been okay with that.
Yeah.
But so let's see. How did Westworld, the beginning of that episode, begin? Cameo.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, it had ended with Maeve and Dolores being unplugged, basically. That she set off the EMP or whatever, and it turned them both off. But we come to the beginning of this episode, and Sirach comes through, right, and turns them back on, and he's enacting his little plan. But
he turns Maeve back on.
Right.
They try to get what's her face, Dolores, but Caleb, Cal, whatever you want to call him, beat him to the punch with the pearls. So
yeah, and that was one thing as I was watching that, like, if the girl you're kind of into, because you could tell Caleb was kind of into her, right?
Oh yeah.
If her face opens up, like, and you have to insert her pearl brain in, and then,
yeah.
Are you still gonna be into that chick?
I mean,
and then she's standing there like only her head and the rest of her body's all.
Well, maybe he's the type of guy, and how guys should be. They want to know the inner beauty of the person. So maybe that was something. Yeah, maybe that's what he wanted to see was her insides.
Her inner pearl.
I want to see all of you, not just the outside, but inside as well.
Okay, well,
you're beautiful.
I think after
inside
that, though,
out.
I'd be like, nah.
Yeah,
I didn't want to date the Terminator.
Right. Terminator / Alien, because how it like the pearl part stuck out. Like,
yeah, that was creepy. It was creepy. but so just a couple of things I wanted to point out from this show. I thought the way it all came together in the finale was good. I didn't think it was great, but
Yeah.
we did kind of get to some revelations about Rehoboam and is it Solomon?
Mm-hmm.
So Solomon was the one that tried to help Caleb, and Rehoboam's the one that's kind of gone dark. It's all
Yeah.
yeah. So they were trying to shut that one down. But remember last week when I said that it seemed like a Wizard of Oz situation?
Mm-hmm.
Well, as it turned out, I was sort of right. I didn't really call it exactly, but Sirach was basically the puppet for Rehoboam. He would,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought that it would have been an even cooler thing if they had gone one step forward, because of the way that like Sirach would just he wouldn't actually be there. He would be a hologram.
Uh-huh.
I thought they should have gone full with it and made it that he was always a hologram
Mm-hmm.
to represent Rehoboam out in the real world.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally agree. I thought it was pretty interesting too, because that's how I thought it was going to end. When that shootout happened,
Yeah.
I thought that, when the lights came back on, he was going to, be a hologram.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, like I knew this was going to happen, blah, 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 blah. But we talked about this on the phone, and I'm switching gears right now, where when we find out that he's talking to, or when I guess Rehoboam is talking and giving, basically a script for Sirach to say,
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of upset that, Maeve didn't pick up on that earlier.
Right. Yeah.
Because I mean, if she can speak to machines, then why wasn't that even, a thing that was like a possible, like something that might be like, something's not completely right.
Yeah. I mean, I felt like there was a few holes in this season that we could go back and probably pick a few of them out, but I felt like that one might have been one. I told you, I don't know if I mentioned this on the show or off the air, but when Masashi got his head cut off, I thought he just had his head cut off. You thought he was cut in half for some reason.
Yeah.
Or maybe they did both, I feel like, because I feel like at the end she was carrying just his head.
Mm-hmm.
But theoretically, that head could survive, couldn't it? Because
I mean,
the pearl is all you need. The rest of the body's just a robot.
right. You would think so, because when you see Maeve get all shot up, she wasn't limping or anything like that. Just like when Charlotte got
Right.
shot up.
Right.
She was limping because I'm sure it hit like something that was connected to the leg that couldn't help her move. But I mean, unless you're 50 Cent, I guess, you can walk around
Right.
and get shot,
Right.
and, still be fine. I don't know.
So you bring up Charlotte. She had her confrontation with Dolores, but I don't know. I didn't feel like it went kind of in the direction I thought it was going to go, or was as important of the story and the end as it was. I'm sure it's setting some more stuff up to come. But what did you think?
I think that it was obviously, like we said earlier, that I don't know if we said it exactly like this, but we kind of knew that this was going to be somewhat of a cliffhanger, to where we knew that something was still going to happen in the next season to keep this same storyline going.
Yeah.
So I kind of was like, meh, it was all right.
Yeah. I just, Charlotte, it was funny because we were all like, well, she had embraced being the Charlotte because she was really Dolores in Charlotte's body. But,
Wait.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Before you go into any further, back to the whole Musashi thing. So we had Clementine, and I can't remember her name in Samurai World.
Right.
Were they on Charlotte's team or Maeve's team?
Um, I thought they were on Maeve's team.
Okay, because with that being said, what happened to them? They had that one scene and then they just
Yeah,
disappeared.
they didn't really. That didn't turn. That was kind of a loose end too, I guess.
Yeah, I'm wondering
Yeah,
if they're gonna explain that in
maybe so.
next season.
Maybe
But
so.
okay, sorry, I didn't know if you picked up on that or anything.
No, well, that's what I actually during the show I remember thinking that, or I might have mentioned this last week. Felix and Clementine, we saw them this season, but they weren't really in it, and I kind of missed them a little bit this
Yeah.
season. So yeah, but back to Charlotte when Dolores was talking to her about how she I think had embraced the family part of it, and she was like really like no, I'm a killer.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was cool, but you know, Dolores, she I don't know, she also seemed there was a little bit of a hole with her passing the torch to Caleb,
Hmm.
because all of a sudden she's like, okay, Caleb, you're in charge. You need to be the leader. Well, nobody knows who Caleb is, but then everybody knows who Caleb is.
Yeah.
And they start, it was almost like Fight Club and Tyler Durden, where they were all like, all of a sudden, hello, boss. Let's take you to wherever you need to go, boss. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I didn't really get that. Did you pick up on anything that I didn't get there? How did they all know?
Uh,
Just
no,
because
I didn't pick up on that either.
because they do have like a lot of them had those earpieces, right?
Hmm.
So is Rojo Boehm like just all the time pumping out information to them, whether they know it or not?
Um,
And that
Possibly.
and that's kind of guiding. So maybe Dolores had figured out kind of how to override that, and so some people were. I don't know. I didn't pick up on that, but
Yeah.
I didn't really enjoy that because I thought as we got closer to the end too, with the buildings blowing up and everything towards the end, it got real Fight Clubby.
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah. It was.
instead of the "Where Is My Mind" song, it was the Pink Floyd. You know, the lunatic is in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do kind of liked how it all ended.
Hmm.
Um, with, I mean, besides the, I think wasn't there like two different end scenes that they had?
Yeah, there was a few, and so,
Yeah.
yeah. So one of the other things that I don't know if I liked it or didn't like it, but it was interesting was Bernard towards the end. All of a sudden, so let's kind of recap real quick. What happened to Dolores? She was caught by Sirach,
Hmm.
caught because basically she let herself get caught. And
Right.
as he was trying to delete her memories, she was actually uploading herself into Rehoboam. Correct?
Hmm. Hmm.
So she gives Caleb the the permission to control Rehoboam, and now he's in charge.
Yep.
And so that was cool. But so that brought us to Bernard. So Bernard senses that something's happened to Dolores because
Hmm.
all of them are copies of Dolores. So,
Yeah.
they have the force.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden, though, because what we started finding out in the interactions with Dolores and Maeve is Dolores wasn't trying to end the human race. She was trying to save them.
Yeah.
But we didn't get that feeling that whole
No.
season. So for that to be the curve at the end, the curveball, I was like, that just felt forced.
Hmm.
But then so Bernard he's telling Stubbs, who's dying in the bathtub, I assume, that he doesn't agree with that sentiment. He still wants to take out the human race. And it
Uh,
makes sense though, because he's based off of somebody whose memories and stuff affect him, but he's a robot. They
Yeah.
kind of played some of that out with him going to visit. Was it Arnold's wife, and it would have been Arnold's son, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Bernard went to visit them, and that was all kind of weird
Hmm.
because she remembered Arnold.
Yeah. And see, and that's whenever
Not that it would have been weird, but I think she was like, it almost seemed like she was catatonic or something. But then she like
right.
came to and said, "Yeah, Arnold, I know you're blah blah blah."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because that's what I was basing off the end,
Hmm.
one of the end credit scenes. Because you said that how Bernard didn't have faith in the human race.
Right.
I didn't catch that because what I took from his meeting, Arnold's wife, is that you know he still saw the good in because of the love that she was saying that he had and whatnot. So I thought that was totally different than what you got.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well, we'll see. The funny thing is Bernard shuts down,
mhm.
and then later on we see him. He's all covered in dust, and that's why I'm guessing Stubbs bled out and died.
Mhm.
Either that or he just left him there. We don't know.
Yeah,
But Arnold comes to, and he's all covered in dust, so he's been there a while.
yeah. Well,
So
because yeah, it was kind of weird at first before they got to him. You see Charlotte Hale with what's his name, William,
mhm.
and oh, you know what? Now I kind of see it because the guy that William shoots in the beginning of going down to the basement of Delos was the same guy that gave the briefcase to Bernard.
Oh yeah.
He was like, "Oh, this is yours, and you're going to lead us to blah 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 blah."
Right.
And I think that was Charlotte Hale's gift to Bernard,
Right.
and
Yeah.
that's okay. So now I kind of see it now.
Yeah. So and then William, he meets his end.
He meets William.
Yeah, that was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what that means next season. Because I think in the original movie, the Man in Black, he was a robot, right?
I don't know. Was he?
Yeah, he was. It was Yul Brynner, and he was the bad guy. I'm pretty sure he was a robot in the movie.
Okay.
So now we get Robot William, which he's going to be even worse, even more of a sadistic, horrible person.
Yeah.
And
Thanks
I'm
to
excited about that.
Yeah, I thought hers. It was kind of funny when I first saw when you see Charlotte Hale towards the end of in that credit or in that scene. I was like, man, why did she get a tattoo on that arm? But no, it was the basically her burnt arm. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
said basically, this is something I want to remember your people by, and which is fueling her hate even more. But I kind of feel like not just that. I don't understand why she feels that way because the love that she had, well, I guess a kind of artificial love, but it was still love nonetheless for her son
mm-hmm.
and her husband that they were split up, whatever they were. So I kind of don't understand why she's going that route and taking the what Dolores did to her out on humans.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, Maeve, because Maeve switched sides and all that, but Maeve, Dolores, Charlotte, they've all been treated horribly by humans.
Mm-hmm.
But they've also been treated horribly by their own kind. So,
Right.
yeah. So I think right now some of them are like Charlotte, I think, is like, F them all.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well, I'm going to say the season 3 as a whole, I will give it 2 out of 3 crying Kevin Smiths.
I'll give it that.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's read some comments. Let me warm your heart before I give you some bad news.
Okay.
My cousin, yep, second cousin, I believe. Jeanette Honeycutt is watching. Thank you. Steve Lanier says, thanks for the podcast, and thank you. I mean, don't thank us. Thank you. We appreciate
for
you
listening
hanging
and
out and watching and listening. Yeah. So thank you very much. Mark Morris watching. Thank you. Cameo. We've been streaming. We've been online, and I'm pretty sure that I can download the first little bit of our show off of, or at least record it off of online and piece it together. But I just hit the record button.
Oh.
We were joking about this a couple shows ago, how it's been a long time. I mean, how many times does that even happen? Once, twice?
3 times?
3 times a podcast? Where I accidentally didn't hit the record button. But, yeah.
Hey.
So,
well.
Welcome to the show, those who just are watching the recorded version. No, I'm pretty sure I can do my magic Cameo.
Yeah.
Make it work.
You good at that.
All right. So last week was May the 4th, right? Which it was weird on Twitter. I saw this thing from Disney that was like, if you use the May the 4th hashtag, they were having some deal, but they also, it was like you granting them permission to use your likeness and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, ugh. Like, Disney doesn't own me.
Yeah.
But they probably will someday. So it was May the 4th. We got some news in that Taika Waititi is going to be directing a Star Wars movie, which made me flip out.
Yeah.
I hate saying his name, though, because I always feel like I'm going to mess it up.
You said it right.
It's got a lot of weird twists and turns in that name.
Yeah,
But
a lot of I's and A's.
It's a pretty name, though. I like it. Like, that's a beautiful name. Better than Brad Reed, for sure.
Oh, like 1,000 times better.
It is. But I love his movies. I've been watching, this isn't one of his movies, but it's based off of his movies. Things We Do in the Dark, the TV show. Have you seen that or the movie?
Is it the Things We Do in the Dark? Is that
It's about vampires.
Is that but the movie, that was the one with Johnny Depp, right?
No, I don't believe Johnny Depp was in the movie. I don't think he was, but it had. Was he in that? No. Oh, you're thinking of Dark Shadows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. Things We Do in the Dark was Taika's movie, and it's like the TV show's based off of it if you've seen it, but it's every like different version of a vampire. They all live in the house and they're roommates, and it's a satire. It's hilarious.
Oh, okay.
You got to watch it.
All right.
Jojo Rabbit, that was a great movie. And then Thor Ragnarok. Of course, Thor Ragnarok. I wasn't a Thor fan. And look at him behind me, Thor and Hulk, because that's my favorite Thor movie and one of my favorite Marvel movies.
Yeah.
But so they announced that. I don't know what it's going to be. We were talking online and we had comments, people kind of going back and forth. But we all could agree that as long as Jon Favreau's kind of at the helm of all this, and John we trust, right?
Right.
Yeah. So Star Wars.
Favreau, we bow.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either, but we'll get there. Star Wars Clone Wars came to an end this week.
Yeah.
And that's cool that they timed it to be on the same week as May the 4th. 7 seasons total.
And the last season is only 12 episodes. The others are like 20, 22 or something like that.
Yeah, the last 2 seasons were shorter.
Yeah.
And of course, it came out on Cartoon Network. It actually began as a movie, but the first 3 episodes they thought were so good, and they wanted to put it out as a movie to kind of jumpstart it. And it was a great movie.
Yeah.
Did you ever see, they said there was an animated 2D version that came out in 2003 or something like that. Have you seen that one?
No, I've seen people. I watched this guy on YouTube that talks about, everything comic book related and comic book movie TV shows related. And he would post clips from the 2D uh, show or movie.
Mm.
And I'm upset that I never got to see it.
Yeah. So I
I
didn't
don't
know if
even
it
think
was
it's on Disney Plus or not.
Yeah. I didn't know if it was a cartoon. It just said 2D, and so I figured it meant cartoon and not live action. I figured
Yeah.
Yeah. So but what happens throughout the seasons is you get a lot of different stories with a lot of different characters, and they'll go in like 1 to 3 episode arcs or something.
Okay.
And so it wasn't like always continuous throughout the 7 seasons on certain characters, but they would pepper stories back in. And so a lot of times it was following Anakin and Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where it basically comes to an end in season 7. And the last 3 episodes, you could tell that could have been its own movie if they had done the same as they done for the first. And I wonder kind of why they didn't do it like that.
Yeah.
Maybe you think maybe it was just we want to have it all be on Disney Plus because that's what we're pushing, and B, obviously, right, if they had done this and planned it, this would have been a horrible time for it to have come out. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I just wonder why they didn't go ahead and do a movie to tie it all up at the end like they began it with.
Yeah.
It would have been a good movie.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Like honestly, truthfully, this was supposed to wrap up the whole, series.
Right.
And because I feel like I still want to see more of Ahsoka and where she's at.
Well, you can.
I can?
Yeah.
Where?
Rebels.
Is it like a whole bunch though, or is it just?
I mean, I told you that I did the Darth Maul, Darth Vader going and just kind of skipping through, so I haven't seen all of Rebels. But yeah, I think that you get to find out a lot more about, maybe not a lot, but some more about her story, and you get to see her reunite with Anakin, because at the end of Clone Wars, she finally does, and Anakin is surprised to see her.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't seem like she's as eager to see him, right?
Right.
And if you watch the whole show, it's understandable. And it's I loved it because, this all takes place, even though it was 7 seasons over 12 years, it takes place between episode 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that I love is also the thing that sometimes I didn't like, but you get so much backstory for all of it. But the biggest part that it focuses on is the Clone Wars, and gives you more details into that, and then Order 66.
Yeah.
So, but let me ask you this. Watching it from the beginning, because you did it without skipping, right? Didn't you go all the way through? So I kind of started with a list of the episodes you can't miss, and then about season 5 through 7, I watched it more faithfully throughout. So I wouldn't have predicted that it would have gone down the way it did at the end. I thought it would have been more about Anakin than it was.
Yeah. I thought it would be too, but I feel like, because there were several episodes in each season to where some of the stuff didn't even matter. Like there was 3 or 4 episodes, and maybe even 5, of the Padawans getting their lightsabers.
Yeah.
That was totally useless for me. I don't like filler episodes at all. I watch a lot of anime TV, and there's a lot of that on animes. And I just think it's pointless. Like I don't care, you know, how the Padawans get. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what it was, is
Right.
to show how, you know, a Jedi becomes a Jedi and how
Yeah.
they get their lightsaber and whatnot.
And kind of
Um,
prepare you, because the journey is about Ahsoka's journey. Really, at the heart of this series,
mhm.
it's about Ahsoka. And so yeah, without showing you like some of the stuff she had to go through as the young Ahsoka, which
Yeah,
they do a little bit, but I think they show that. And did it necessarily shed a whole bunch of light? No, I didn't think
not
so.
at all.
I
Not
didn't
at
think
all.
so. Get it
No,
with
I
the
totally agree.
lightsabers?
Huh?
With the lightsabers, get it?
Yeah. 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 No.
No, but yeah. So I'm with you. Like, what I like about it is that you got a lot of backstory, but I didn't need all of it.
Right.
So,
But yeah,
uh,
they could have easily done, you know, um, the start of where they wanted to start at the end of, you know, season 6.
mm-hmm.
Uh, you know, 5, 10, 15 minutes of, you know, welcoming everybody back. The next, you know, 20 to 30 minutes of, you know, the plot, and then Order 66 the last 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, it could have easily been a movie and or 3, you know, long episodes. It
right.
would have been fine.
But what it comes down to is my favorite, Darth Maul.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because he's still alive.
ecstatic though. I'm so ecstatic that I got to see a bunch more Darth Maul. And I think Disney, you know, like I said, they've had a little while before this last season. I think they get that Darth Maul is just one of those characters that people love.
Yeah.
And one of the only, like, you didn't get it. There was no more, I don't think we saw Jar Jar Binks after the first 3 episodes.
Oh yeah. You didn't
Well,
even see,
no, I think maybe there was a little bit, but not much, right? Because they knew
no.
nobody wants to see that, even
And
if they.
I don't think you saw Padme once in this season.
Yeah, I don't recall that either.
I don't think you see her.
So they left out the things people didn't really like. They gave us more Darth Maul. I love that. But again, here's my question for you, Cameo, and I have no issue with this, but I just wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Ahsoka to me is like Harley Quinn. Like they put this character in a cartoon, you know, and then it becomes bigger.
Yeah.
And so now we're gonna get Ahsoka in the Mandalorian, but we never saw Ahsoka in the movies. So
No.
is it weird that they put all this time into her character and all that for a character you're probably never gonna see in the movies, or is Taika Waititi gonna make an Ahsoka movie?
You never know. I did hear my wife was watching something on YouTube about an all women cast for Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if they are thinking of Ahsoka in that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Taika Waititi is thinking of, excuse me, of using Ahsoka. But I know Ahsoka is a fan favorite for a lot of people, especially if they're a fan of the Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I
think she's great.
I kind of grown to love Ahsoka.
Well, because she's, you know, she's got that thing that everybody likes because she wants to do the right thing, but she's a little rebellious. So, she knows sometimes you got to go outside the lines, and so.
Yeah, there is gray area because you can tell whenever in the show, especially whenever Ahsoka was with, I can't remember their names, but the sisters,
the Spice Runners.
Yes. How they felt about Jedis, you know, whenever they were telling their story about their family getting killed by not by a Jedi, but a Jedi was fighting somebody and then messed up a ship that flew into the deal, and then the Jedi was like, you know, that was the way of the Force, you know, may the Force be with you, and you know, just left it at that, which is kind of heartless. But Ahsoka, on the other hand, would have, you know, at least wrote them a letter like, I'm totally sorry, you know, blah blah blah. That's not how I would have handled it. You know, because you see how she was so distraught whenever Anakin didn't stick up to her, or not stick up to her, but stick up for her
Mm-hmm.
to the Jedi Council when all that stuff was going on. So yeah, I can see how she feels about the Jedi and how they're how most of them think that it's a black and white, even though
Right.
there is gray areas which Ahsoka lives in.
Right. And even Obi-Wan tells her the council's not always right.
Right.
Because, I mean, there's nobody that's always right.
Mm-hmm.
The government's not always right. There's lots. So there's some good stories there. I liked it. I love Darth Maul. I just got to keep saying it.
Yeah.
I just love that character. I want to see more Darth Maul. I think you should watch Rebels. Again, I thought Rebels is a little bit more kid friendly though, because this show was on Cartoon Network, and people died and stuff in the cartoon. It wasn't ever grisly or whatever, but it wasn't necessarily just. This was definitely a show that wasn't just for kids.
Right.
I think Rebels is a little more for kids, but I liked it. I liked what I saw.
I'll check it out.
And so you get some more to it. Now, there might be some people, and I'm curious what they think. Comment, leave us a comment, whatever. If kind of like the end of Clone Wars, he was like all that much of a revelation since they've already seen Rebels. It's been out for seasons and seasons, so you get this. You do see Anakin and Darth Vader at that point, and Ahsoka meet each other again. I thought it was cool at the end where it showed Darth Vader picking up her lightsaber, still kind of looking at it like maybe he might care about her.
Yeah.
I would love Cameo to see a Darth Vader, just Darth Vader, like
I would love to see between episode 3 and episode 4 of Vader.
Yeah.
Like I would love that.
Well, like kind of like what you saw in Rogue. Was it?
Yeah.
Rogue Squadron. No, that's the game.
No, it was
Rogue.
Star Wars Rogue.
Star Wars Rogue. Yeah. Kind of like
or
that.
Rogue,
that Darth,
Star Wars
yeah.
film or whatever.
But a Darth Vader like that, give me a whole show. But I don't know. Do you want it animated like it is? Do you like the computer animation? I'm not a fan.
Dude,
There's sometimes it looks great, like when they're in space and the ships and all that.
Yeah.
But the people just never feels real. And of course, it's computer
I feel you on that. But I mean, if we could get a live action, like a Mandalorian Darth Vader show, dude, that would be amazing.
Even if it was just one season, it would be so amazing.
Oh, a one-off? Oh yeah, just to give. Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
John
would love
Favreau, listen to what we're saying.
Please give us what we want.
I know he's surfing through the internet and he's seeing the Iron Man behind you and he's like, "Oh,
right.
I got to watch this." Thank you. So yeah. So John, listen to us and give us what we want.
Yeah, please.
So, but I did hear of a few other things that aren't Star Wars related that are coming to Disney Plus. I want to run by you real quick.
Okay.
I heard that there's going to be a Nick Fury animated show, and I thought that I heard it was going to be out like really soon. We haven't seen it yet, neither you or I, so we cannot confirm. That one, I don't know. I don't even know if I'm all that jazzed about that, to be honest.
Did you hear if what's his name is coming back to voice Samuel Jackson?
Yeah, I haven't. So
Okay.
that would probably make a difference. Going back to Clone Wars, he did do the voice for the first 3 episodes for the movie, and then somebody else did it after that.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if that's what that says about the Nick Fury one, if he'll want to go and do voice acting like that. But who knows?
Yeah.
So we'll be on the lookout for that. Let us know if you're out there and you've seen it or you know what's up. Also, I heard that there's going to be a Disney Plus Ironheart.
Yep.
So Now, I want to ask you about this because you're more familiar with Ironheart. There were some people saying that they weren't excited about it, of course. Like, that always happens, right? When it's like a female character that's getting their own show or cartoon or whatever. But some people made the point, and I wanted to see what you thought about it because I can't speak to it, that there are just better characters that they could make a show about. They weren't mad that it was a female or anything like that. They're just like, give me a better character. So tell me what you think, because you're more familiar with these characters. Because if that's your reasoning, I'm not really that upset about it. But then at the same time, you don't always get what you want.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure, it's just trying to be inclusive, which I'm cool with. I did like Ironheart's story. It wasn't like anything that we haven't seen before. Because in the first few, basically how Ironheart starts out is that Riri, I forgot her last name, but Riri, who is Ironheart, is super smart. I think probably even the same intellect as Tony Stark. Something happens to her family. I can't remember if it's her dad, but her dad gets shot in a drive-by. And then now, I'm skipping ahead. Now she wants to do something. And somehow Tony Stark sends her an AI to start building her own, Iron Man.
Right.
So yeah, that's basically the gist of how Riri's story starts out. And so I mean, if you want to see, a child become Iron Man, nothing wrong with that. But I think they're probably pandering to, the younger crowd.
Right.
And like younger girls and stuff. So, right. I mean, why not?
Why not though? Yeah, exactly. It's Disney Plus. They've got an audience for everybody. You see what I mean? They've got children, adults, men, women, all of that. So yeah, they've got to make something for everyone. So if you don't particularly get excited about that one, that's all right. There might be something else coming along that you'll like, right?
Right. So, I mean, I'm going to watch it regardless. So
yeah.
But all right. I just think people need to stop, throwing fits and like, oh, that's not what I want to watch, blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what? It's not about what you want to watch. So Disney Plus isn't caring what you specifically want. They're going to put something out there for everybody. And whether you watch it or not, they might put, 4 or 5 episodes of the series on there just to see if anybody likes it, and then go from there. If nobody likes it, okay, back to the drawing board. Yeah. Let's do a Hawkeye if that's what you wanted, or let's do a Scarlet Witch, or whatever the case may be.
Right on. Well, let's get to the last order of business.
Okay.
We won't really spoil this one. It just came out this weekend.
Yeah.
But it's the latest DC animated film, which I'm glad you told me because it was under my radar. I didn't even know. But it was Justice League Dark, and this one's called Apokolips War. And so I wanted to, first of all, I think the only other Justice League Dark, there's only been one that came out, right? That was the one with Swamp Thing and Constantine. And am I wrong? Or has there been a couple more?
No, that was a while back. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was one that I didn't particularly love to begin with. It just wasn't that great. So when I saw this one, I went ahead and watched the trailer before I watched it. And this one, they really married the Justice League with the Justice League Dark this time. So
Yeah.
it wasn't just some of those side characters. And so I feel like people will like this one better.
Yeah, yeah. I think this story was pretty cool. So
yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought that there was some cool stuff with, like you get to see a little bit older version of Robin, which was kind of funny because whoever plays Robin, Damian Wayne, Stuart Allen. Let's see. I got to look up see how old that guy is, because he still sounded. Yeah, he's not that old. Well, actually, he's 20. So his face, like the picture of him, he looked younger. But
yeah, he looks like he's 16.
Yeah, and his voice, like he's perfect for Damian Wayne, but like even a few years later, he still sounded like a young kid. So I thought that was kind of funny in the thing. Jerry O'Connell was Superman. I thought that was a cool storyline for the Superman. Was it with the green? What's it called? What's his kryptonite cameo? Oh, kryptonite. That's right.
Yes. I was like, wait, what? You just said it.
Yeah. So, but tattooed on him, that's cool.
Yeah.
Is that out of the comics?
That I don't know. I couldn't tell you about that.
I don't know either. If that was something that's been part of the comic books, I thought that was a really cool idea and looked cool. I like that. So I'm for that.
Yeah, and Tony Todd was Darkseid, which is pretty awesome.
Yes.
That was pretty awesome.
And then Batman, I like the concept of Batman in this movie. I'm going to have to defer to you on how many Crying Kevin Smiths will give it, because I will say that I fell asleep.
Yeah.
While watching it. But it was super late and I had tried plenty of the Pot County cannabis products. So I was sleeping like a baby.
Yeah.
I apologize. I'm going to rewatch it probably after the show.
I'd give it a 1.5, 2.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So didn't love it, but you liked it.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
I would say from what I saw of it, I would probably say 1.5 as well. And the reason, just comparing it to some of the other animated movies, I didn't think it was as good. I think some of the best ones still, and I think you would agree with me, Flashpoint.
Yeah.
That was a great animated movie.
It was. It really was.
I still like A Killing Joke, and that one's not a great one, and it's a weird one, and the way that they added it to it kind of was off-putting, but I still love that one. I even thought that Hush was a better one.
Oh yeah.
And with Hush, they, I liked it, but I didn't love it because they changed a lot of it. So
right.
Yeah. So what were your thoughts?
No, I totally agree with you on that. It was good. It wasn't on par with Flashpoint.
Right.
I think by far that was probably the best animated film out of the DC franchise. But it's I mean it just depends on who you like and what you like. I mean, depending on what characters you want a movie to be centered around, also kind of has a deciding factor on that.
Well,
so like I'm a big Flash fan.
Yeah.
Now when I say I'm a fan, I don't know anything and everything about the Flash. I just like the Flash's character.
Right.
So I don't want anybody saying, "Oh, well, what about blah 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 blah." No, I'm not here for that. I don't know.
Right.
All I know is what I've seen on the CW and what I've watched on animated movies or series, and that one Flash Rebirth comic that I read.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
So
well, I think if you keep up with the show like you do, I mean, you're probably pretty knowledgeable, but but if somebody's like, well, remember in issue 500 where he time warped and then he became Barry's mother,
No, nope,
No,
don't remember that.
I don't know that. So yeah, I'm with you too. I wish I had a deeper knowledge, but
Yeah,
I don't. So
yeah.
we're gonna move on. But yeah, I thought that just a lot of good people like in the cast. You know, Matt Ryan is the guy who plays Constantine on the shows. Correct.
Right.
Like I said, Jerry O'Connell, and then you mentioned Tony Todd, which I think is so. Yeah, did you know that they're going to make a new Candyman movie?
Yeah, Jordan Peele's doing it.
That's right. I'm for that. Jason O'Mara as Bruce Wayne. Rosario Dawson is still in this one. Rainn Wilson as Lex Luthor. Rebecca Romijn. Man, so many names in this one. But it was I liked it a good, enough. But what I think is a shame is, and I know it was New 52 and they've moved on since then in the comics, but when they were starting to do like Court of Owls and they brought in Damian Wayne and all that, there was some really good comic books. I think like The Death of the Family and stuff, that if they could have done an animated version of that, I would have been a big fan of that. So I wish they would have kept going in that direction. Now it's like with Batman, we've got a few like one shots, and the Justice League has some continuity to it. But that's the other thing I was going to ask, because I didn't watch the Death of the last. I think there's been a couple Superman movies, but did those play pretty heavily into this one? It seems like they did.
I think so. I think just for the continuity of what was it? The obviously Justice League Dark, but we didn't see them actually of Justice League, except for this movie. But yeah, I think they had obviously Throne of Atlantis, the Aquaman movie. They did kind of reference Flashpoint in this movie. So I think they all kind of coincide together. But I'm not sure, how, like the Death of Superman, the Reign of Superman, because
that's the one I didn't see, the Reign of Superman.
Yeah.
Should I watch that one, you think? Go back and watch it?
Yeah, you should watch it.
I probably need to go ahead and renew DC Universe, because I think Harley Quinn's going on there now, right?
Yep.
Gotta do it. So yeah, that pretty much brings us to an end then, Cameo, on
alrighty
everything we had for this week. I gotta ask though, without Westworld in your life, are you just gonna freeze all motor functions, or
no?
What are we gonna talk about every week?
I don't know. I kind of want to watch what this new Mark Ruffalo show is about.
Oh, on HBO.
The Truth of the Matter is, or whatever it's called. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
I did see a preview for that, because I watch a lot of HBO shows.
I was totally wrong of the title.
Oh, what's the title?
I know this much is true.
Oh yeah. Well, you knew that there was a lengthy, wordy title. You just didn't. Yeah. You just didn't know what it was exactly.
But yeah, there's quite a few people in there. We got Catherine Hahn. She's been in quite a few movies. She was in Step Brothers. She was the woman that loved John C. Reilly's character.
Right.
Rob Hubel, if I'm saying his name right, he's actually in a Netflix show called Medical Police, which is totally ridiculous. Juliette Lewis, she's in the show, and so is Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so nice little cast they got going on there. Also, obviously, like I said earlier, Mark Ruffalo is in it as well.
Nice. I want to see that one. I've been kind of curious, because that's the one thing I like about HBO is when one show goes off, usually another great show comes back, starts. So I don't know when Westworld comes back, but it's probably going to be a couple more years.
Right. Yeah, I know Insecure is on right now, and I've been watching that. So, Yep.
The thing I'm looking forward to the most tonight is another couple episodes of The Last Dance with Michael Jordan.
I need to watch that.
I believe
still haven't
tonight's
watched it yet.
episode features him punching Steve Kerr in the face during one of their practices. Which
Nice.
I think there's been a couple times when me and you have been practicing the show that I've been wanting to punch you in the face. But
Probably.
yeah. That's just because I'm a leader, like Michael Jordan. I cause you to be great. I make everyone around me great. And he's dead. All right, so all right, Cameo. Well, have a great one. We'll get back together in a few days. Talk about nerdy stuff.
Alrighty.
I like talking nerdy in your ears. All right, well, everybody else, keep a smile on your face.
This is the way.
Oh, I like that. Keep it nerdy.